Hey everyone, and welcome back to Global Insights.
We've got some really positive news from Eastern Europe today.
That's right, Jamie. Ukraine just launched something important called the Sustainable Finance Platform. We can call it the SFP.
Wow, SFP. What exactly does it do?
Well, it's a new national plan. Its main goal is to make Ukraine's financial system, like banks and businesses, more green and eco-friendly. It also helps them meet European Union standards.
So it's about investing in things that are good for the planet and the future?
Exactly. And it's a big step for Ukraine, especially as they want to join the EU. The EU is actually strongly supporting this.
That makes a lot of sense. So who is working on this platform?
It brings together key groups, government, banks, businesses, and international partners. They all work together to guide Ukraine's move towards sustainable finance.
Right, so it's not just about the environment or money then. It's also a big part of their plan to join Europe?
You know, that's absolutely correct. A Ukrainian official said that being part of the EU means adopting these green economic principles. So the SFP is fundamental to their European integration.
Very clear. It really shows their commitment to a modern, sustainable future.
Absolutely, Jamie. A big step for Ukraine. Hey everyone, welcome to Money Talks. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. We've got important news today about banks and how they lend money in the U.S.
That's right. U.S. banking regulators have just made a big change. They've eased some restrictions on banks, making it easier for them to lend to companies considered high risk.
Wow, that's a significant shift. It actually reverses an Obama-era rule put in place after the 2008 financial crisis, you know?
Exactly. That old rule stopped banks from taking big risks, especially with highly leveraged loans, money given to companies already carrying lots of debt.
So this gives banks more flexibility. And, you know, it aligns with President Trump's push for less regulation to boost the economy.
Right. For businesses, it means more money is available, potentially stimulating the economy. Good for those who struggled to get loans before.
But critics are concerned. They say it might make the financial system less safe, recalling instability before the last big downturn.
Exactly. Democrats are especially concerned, even calling for stress tests on these markets.
It's definitely a big debate between boosting growth and making sure we have strong safeguards, a really critical area to watch.
Absolutely. We'll keep you updated. Bye for now. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tech Talk. Jamie, have you seen the news about the G7 ministers meeting in Montreal?
I have, Alex. It's happening on December 8th, 2025. It sounds super important. The G7 are big industrial countries, right?
Exactly, and they're gathering to talk about the future of AI, artificial intelligence, and something called quantum computing. It's all about how we manage these fast-changing technologies.
Wow. So, like setting rules for them? Canada is actually hosting this meeting during its G7 presidency. They really want global cooperation and common rules.
That's right. Canada's minister, François-Philippe Champagne, mentioned they want to give businesses, especially small ones, the tools and confidence to use AI.
That makes sense. You know, we need to help everyone benefit. But I read they're also looking at big challenges like privacy, safety, and even deepfakes.
Yes, deepfakes are a real concern. Fake videos that look real. They want to protect us, but also keep new ideas coming. It's a tricky balance.
Absolutely. And Canada even announced a new partnership with Germany on AI and other digital technologies. Sounds like a big step.
Definitely. This G7 meeting is key to creating a collective international strategy for these powerful technologies. So many exciting and important discussions ahead.
It really is a huge conversation for our digital future.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got significant news from the Middle East today, Jamie.
Absolutely, Alex. It's a major development. Israel and Hamas are very close to finishing phase 1 of their ceasefire. You know, the first part.
That's right. Prime Minister Netanyahu shared this update. Phase 1 focused on humanitarian help, like getting aid and, importantly, returning hostages. We sadly heard about Rand Glaville, a deceased hero, returned during this phase.
It's a huge, sensitive step, but now they're moving to phase 2, which sounds much more complex and difficult.
Exactly. This next phase involves efforts to disarm Hamas and demilitarize Gaza, meaning remove weapons. It also talks about an international force to secure Gaza and even a temporary new Palestinian government.
Wow, big changes. Germany is helping too. Chancellor Merz confirmed they'll send people to a U.S.-led coordination center. So President Trump is clearly part of these international efforts.
Yes, it highlights how crucial global cooperation is for such a fragile situation. This won't be easy, but it's a hopeful sign for long-term stability.
Definitely. We'll be watching closely.
And we'll keep you updated right here. Hey everyone, welcome back to Money Minutes. Jamie, have you heard the big news from the financial world?
Oh, I sure have, Alex. JP Morgan Chase, a huge bank, just made a very important hire. They've recruited Todd Combs.
That's right. And for our listeners, Todd Combs is a big name. He used to be one of Warren Buffett's top people at Berkshire Hathaway. Buffett, is one of the world's most famous investors.
Exactly. And people thought Todd might even replace Buffett one day. Now he's moving to lead JP Morgan Chase's new $1.5 trillion security and resiliency project. That's a lot of money.
It really is. This initiative is all about making sure the bank is super safe from things like cyber attacks and other problems. It shows how important protecting our digital money is today, especially with the economy under President Trump's administration.
Absolutely. Todd's experience in understanding risks and making smart decisions will be crucial. It's a clear signal that financial companies are investing massively to keep customer data safe.
Plus, his move also means a big change for Berkshire Hathaway, with new leaders stepping up there too. Jamie, this is a huge strategic win for JP Morgan Chase.
Definitely. It shows they're really serious about leading the way in protecting our financial future.
A fascinating move indeed. Hey everyone, welcome back to News Simplified. Jamie, do you have a sweet tooth today?
You know, Alex, I always do. And today's big news might make our snack cravings even stronger.
Absolutely. We're talking about Mars Incorporated. Yes, the company behind M&Ms and Snickers making a huge move.
That's right. They just got the final go-ahead from Europe to buy Kellanova. You know, Kellanova makes popular cereals and snacks too.
Exactly. This is big. It means all the paperwork and approvals are done, so the deal can finally close very soon.
Wow. So what happens next for Kellanova?
Well, Kellanova shares will stop trading on the stock market, but Mars will create a new, much bigger snack company called Mars Snacking.
Mars Snacking sounds powerful. How big are we talking?
Very big. It's expected to make around $36 billion every year. And it will have 9 brands that each earn over $1 billion.
That's incredible. So a giant new player in the snack world, based in Chicago.
Precisely. Get ready for a lot more delicious options from Mars. What an exciting time for the food industry. Streaming shakeup. Netflix buys Warner Bros.
Ooh, I'm ready. What's the scoop, Alex?
Netflix just made a huge deal. They've agreed to buy Warner Bros. Discovery's film studio and streaming service.
Wow, so HBO and HBO Max are included? That's enormous.
Exactly. It's a $72 billion deal. Netflix will soon have all those classic Warner Bros. Films and popular HBO shows under one roof.
More content for subscribers, right? But was it an easy deal?
Not entirely. There was a bidding war. And here's the kicker. President Trump has expressed some doubt.
Really? What did President Trump say?
He thinks this deal could be a problem and will be involved in the approval process, so it might face challenges.
Interesting. What about channels like CNN or TNT?
Good question. No, important to remember, Warner Bros. Discovery's cable networks like CNN and TNT are not included in this acquisition.
Got it. A huge move for Netflix, but some big questions about approval from President Trump. What a story.
Farm Fresh Aid, Trump's $12 billion boost. Hey everyone, welcome back to News Unpacked. Jamie, we have some really important economic news today.
We certainly do, Alex. It's all about American farmers and a big announcement coming from President Trump.
Exactly. President Trump is expected to announce a huge $12 billion aid package for farmers very soon. That's a lot of money. Wow.
It truly is. Our farmers, have been facing a really tough time. This is because of the current trade disputes. Other countries are putting extra taxes, called tariffs, on American farm products.
Right. So it makes it much harder for farmers to sell their goods overseas, and prices can go down here at home. This aid is designed to help them cover essential costs.
Yes, exactly. It will help them buy vital supplies like seeds, fertilizers, and other things they need for their operations. It's a vital lifeline for many farms.
So it's a direct help, especially for those in agricultural states, where farming is key.
Right. But some people are asking if this aid is a long-term solution or just a temporary fix for the wider trade issues.
That's a good question. Still, for farmers facing so much uncertainty right now, this injection of funds is a huge relief, a very important story indeed. Welcome back, everyone. Big news hitting the tech and media worlds today. Jamie, what's got everyone buzzing?
You know it, Alex. The New York Times, a very famous newspaper, has just filed a big lawsuit. They're suing an AI search company called Perplexity.
Perplexity, okay. So what's the accusation?
Well, the Times says Perplexity has been scraping, basically taking, millions of their articles, even ones you usually pay for, and then they use this content to train their AI products.
Wow, so they're saying Perplexity is using their journalism without permission to build their own AI. That sounds like a big deal for copyright.
Exactly. The Times argues it's hurting their business, especially their paid subscriptions. They invest a lot in quality news, right? Perplexity using it for free means people might not visit the original site.
Absolutely. So what does the Times want? Just money?
They want money, yes, but also for Perplexity to stop these practices. This case is super important because it could set new rules for how AI companies can use content from the internet.
Right. This could change everything for content creators and AI developers worldwide. It's definitely one to watch.
Agreed. A real landmark case unfolding.
Hey everyone, welcome back to News in a Nutshell. Jamie, we've got some really big news from the Supreme Court, right?
Absolutely, Alex. This is a huge case that could totally change how the U.S. government works, especially about presidential power.
Wow. So tell our listeners simply, what's happening?
Well, the Supreme Court is going to decide if President Trump can easily fire leaders of important independent government agencies, like the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC.
Okay, so he appointed someone, Rebecca Kelly Slaughter, to the FTC, but then President Biden reappointed her. So can President Trump just fire her now if he wants to?
Exactly. This case challenges a very old rule, about 90 years old. It says presidents usually can't just fire these agency heads without a really good reason. This protects their independence.
Ah, so these agencies are supposed to be somewhat separate from politics, right? If President Trump wins, it means future presidents could have much more control over them?
That's right. It would give presidents much more power to change who runs these agencies and, direct policy. It's a really big shift in power.
Legal experts are watching this super closely, I bet. It sounds like it could truly change how the U.S. government operates for a long time.
Definitely. It's all about how much power the president should have versus these independent groups. A huge decision for the country.